Branding can be a lot of different things, but basically, it's the aesthetic in your videos and what you have as an individual that is most brandable is a face. You'll have to decide things like what fonts to use and what color schemes you like the most. Some things will set you apart just because you are an individual. I regret all of my tattoos. I didn't used to use my face in my thumbnails. I only started doing that recently. I didn't used to put much thought into my thumbnails because I made TV shows, so there was only one thumbnail for all of the episodes. But since then, I have evolved my practices and started to generate a unique thumbnail for each video. Please do like the video. You know it's good for me. I would appreciate it. I tend to use purples and light blues more often in my backgrounds than I do other colors. But it really depends on the mood of the video, what I'm trying to portray in it. But most of the time, I tend to stick with purples and light blues. I use the default font of Canva. Canva has their own font, and I really like it. Canva calls this font Canva Sans. How is it that I'm branding? So the first image on the left-hand side, I have me looking at my hand, and I have the name of the video and a clock. So there's only 3 elements to the video thumbnail. So the next one, I have 4 elements because I chose to use 2 different images. The next one, I have 3 elements. I tend to try to stick with 3 different elements. I don't want to put too many things on the screen for people. So we can see my branding here is using the Canva Sans font and extra images. Sometimes I use AI art to create my images. And they're just very simple. And I'm on the right hand side or the left hand side each time. So I use this app called Background Eraser. So what I do is I just press create. I select me. It automatically crops the image. And then I sit through an ad. I just save it. You can do modifications to it if it didn't do it right. But it usually does it right. It doesn't frame the image well. I'll show you what I mean. I go save here. We save it. And we go into our gallery. And you can see it's not fully stretched out. Like it's a big image, so we want to hold this down on it and click save as image, and we can see what that does is now we have an image of me that we can easily go into Canva now and create a new YouTube thumbnail. We'll add some a text box, and then we'll YouTube video, and we'll change the color to like light blue. Light blue looks good. We'll change the font size and make this big. YouTube video. And then we'll go to our gallery here and select the image we just created, and we just pull it into the side here, stretch it out completely, stretch it out a little bit below, and now we can change the font size to make it a little bit smaller. YouTube video. And then we can go into elements and we can go YouTube. We can go into graphics here and see all. And then we have a YouTube video thing here. And this is just using the Canva Sans font, which I quite like. Changing the color is so simple. You just go in there and you just drag it to what you want it to be. And then you have a thumbnail. It's important to invest a little bit of time and thought into your branding, because it's what follows you around, and I have images of myself that follow me around, and it's really cool doing this because it means that I don't need to take pictures of myself anymore, so I'm no longer saving photos that I have. It's always new photos that I'm creating that are thumbnails, and in the videos I'm creating 60 photos per second. So I'm creating a lot of photos here. A lot of people are hesitant to show their face on camera, but I really encourage you to do it. It's not like you're giving out your personal information or anything. If you just give out your first name and your face, that's all the personal information that the audience needs to know, and the rest they can get from your videos. If you want to talk to me personally, then join my Discord or send me an email, and those details are in the description. If you don't have a Samsung device, then you might need to find another way to save the image in its full aspect ratio, because the Samsung device allows you to press and hold on the image and kind of cut it out of its frame. But you can always use background eraser and stretch it and get it better, but that requires a lot of fiddling around with it. So I recommend you use a Samsung device. Otherwise, you're going to have to find other ways to crop the background. So we're in background eraser and we go create, and We get rid of the background here. And there's an eraser. If it didn't erase something, you can click eraser and then drag that to erase parts of it. Or if it erased parts of it that it shouldn't have, you can always go to the repair feature and then drag that there too. But it looks good, it's done a good job, so we just click check. And then we're left with this image that hasn't been expanded. Like you have all this area around the image. If you can't easily crop it with the Samsung utility, so if you don't have a Samsung device, then you can drag it here and you can see we can line it up with the image, and now we save it. And now that we saved it, we just go into our gallery, and now that's the right sized image. So you can do that from within the background utility, but I just do this. I'll show you exactly what I do because it's the fastest way to do it. You just go create, you select it, it does it, you click check, you X that, you click save, you X that, you go into your gallery, and it's not full sized, so you just hold it down, and then you click save as image, and then you have a full size image. So you either have that or that. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. This background eraser is capable of it. It's just a little bit more fiddly to size the frame. If you want to help me out, you could always recommend my channel to a pretty girl. So yeah, branding is pretty important. Thumbnails and how you present those thumbnails regularly. You can see on this channel that I sort of had an evolution with how my thumbnails went because I didn't know how to use the software very well to begin with. So I sort of learned the software, and as time went on, my thumbnails got better and more stylized. And you'll have to decide things like whether or not you want to capitalize your titles, but all of that is your style. So please do subscribe. I appreciate your attention span. Until next time, this is Wendell signing off. Here is the background eraser that I use. I hope there is an iPhone version, but I'm not sure. But there's definitely an Android version. So enjoy.